Six-time Super Bowl champion Bill Belichick introduced yesterday as the Tar Heels' new coach. They presented him with a new gray short-sleeved hoodie so he could carry on his signature look. He also brought his old UNC sweatshirt from his dad, Steve, who served there as an assistant coach in the 1950s. Here was some of Belichick yesterday with his decision.
I've always wanted to coach in football, coach in college football, and it just never really worked out. Had some good years in the NFL, so that was okay. But this is really kind of a dream come true.
Bill, what do you say to people that fear that if you do succeed here, that you might leave for the NFL again in a year or two?
You know, I didn't come here to leave.
There you have it. So let me start. Ryan Clark, last week, sitting in that exact spot. You've been with him all season long. You sort of delivered an impassioned speech about how much you've learned from him and how you would hire him immediately. What is your perspective today?
I shouldn't have delivered the damn speech, Greeny.
You shouldn't.
I shouldn't have. You know what? You know where he did go to leave? Inside the NFL. That's where he went. Listen, I think it's awesome that Bill gets an opportunity to coach football again. You could tell that it's what he wants to do. It's what he did every morning in every single meeting we were in. And he said, I had a good run, and I always wanted to coach in college. Yeah, coach, when you're winning 8 Super Bowls, 2 as an assistant and 6 as a head coach, you had a great run. The thing for me is this, and this is totally off the subject of how great he'll be at North Carolina. I was with him the entire day, Greeny. We started the meeting at 9 o'clock, and he went on an epic Bill Belichick media rant. And then throughout the entire day, I just took shots at him. I even positioned myself to be his Mike Lombardi. Yeah. And he never once said, I can't take you with me, RC, because I'm bringing Mike Lombardi. And we leave, and we have this wonderful day where he's like just giving flowers, man, and like making his amends and talking to everybody. And then he just walks away and disappears like a ghost. So what I'm going to say about Bill Belichick is anything you ever do with him, he ain't telling nobody. But the other piece of this is I loved what he said. I think it was Pat McAfee on Monday. And he kind of gave you the outline of what he's going to be at North Carolina, the type of program builder he would be, the type of builder of men he will be. And I think anybody who gets an opportunity to play for him, they're going to be better for it.
So we have a lot of perspective here, again, including from Mike Tannenbaum, who, as I've pointed out many times, has sauna'd with Bill on multiple occasions. So we'll see if he puts in a schwitz for you down there in Chapel Hill. But the college part of it is one thing. It's a big part of the story. It could represent sort of the beginning of a paradigm shift in college football, the professionalization of it. We may look back on this and say, this was when everything really changed. He may have enormous success down there. I hope that he does. To me, the biggest story of this is the fact that the National Football League recycles failed head coaches all the time. All the time. It is the number of coaches who fail and then get second opportunities in the NFL is astonishing to me. And the fact that no one decided that their best option was to hire Bill Belichick to coach their NFL team is astonishing to me. And what it represents is people who are more interested in losing their way than winning his way. There are people who are just clinging to the power that they possess within their organizations and are worried about losing it because you bring in Bill, who you know wants to run things his way. I think he intimidates people. The reality is his way works. It has worked. I know things didn't go great at the end. He's still add up his record right now. I think he'd have to have something like 8 consecutive winless seasons to become a 500 coach. No one has ever coached in the modern era the game of football better than Bill Belichick did. And Mike, the fact that that 31 teams in the National Football League decided they had a better option than this astonishes me.
Yeah, no, it's totally fair. And I think a little bit to RC's point, which was he's been put on this plan to coach, and he didn't want to wait. You know, you look at his actions. He didn't want to wait for the coaching cycle to see through. And we'll sit here in mid-January and we'll be surprised that Coach X retired or something happened. And Bill certainly would have, you would think had a meaningful chance, but he didn't want to wait that long. And I'll say this, given where college football is, Greeny, I think he's the right hire at the right moment because college football is a series of one-year deals, and I think players will gravitate to want to get coached by the greatest of all time because that's going to ultimately put more money in their pocket.
I think it's interesting that what happened with the NFL, right? Like not one team was interested last year, they didn't hire him. And he reached the conclusion that he might strike out again this year.
Right.
Yeah.
Why? Like, why do coaches get recycled in the NFL? A lot of times it's because they've built a network I don't think he has. You know what I mean?
He is the network.
Right, but that's the thing. Like I don't have a personal relationship with him, right? I don't. You guys. So like I'm not trying to be sort of negative or insulting about the man. Am I gonna lose? So I think there are reasons to your initial question. Why do coaches get recycled and this one didn't? He's going to be 73, and I do think there are people around the league that have some strong negative feelings toward him.
I mean, ageism exists, right? And you talk about how it ended matters, right? We talk about recycling and getting new, fresh blood because you're concerned with how your program is going to be for the next 15 years, not the next 5. And listen, Bill Belichick is a great coach, and I feel like I'm happy for him. He gets an opportunity to go with his coaching bucket list. But I do have to look at the contract and see that it is an out in it in the first year. So I think you can have both. I mean, I feel like he can go there, set his son up, which I think is important to him. And I think that he also can have an opportunity to come back and catch Don Shula. But, you got Bill Walsh, right? We got Mike Holmgren. We've had great coaches that have come in and got cycled out, that didn't deserve. Bill Walsh got cycled out and ended up in college.
You talk about the college, but
the problem, I think the thing with Bill Belichick is this, and Mike Tannenbaum knows this. This is a relationship business.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick hasn't had to build a relationship in over 2 decades.
Right.
Bill Belichick didn't have somebody that he could get on the phone with that's more powerful than him in the NFL that owed him a favor, right? Or that felt like they had a relationship with him that if they bring Bill Belichick in, we get to work together. When Bill Belichick walks into your building, he's the most important figure in that building the day he walks in. And if you don't agree with him or if you disagree with him, you're not going to change the way that he wants to do business. And I believe that all of these teams understood that. And if you have a young quarterback, and I was around Bill, and